The driver then may lose their CDL and become unable to work. This creates a downward spiral that leads to extreme financial hardship and possible unemployment. Go to truckersfund.org today and learn more about how you can contribute. If you or someone inside the trucking industry may be in need, learn how SCF can help. We encourage you to educate yourself and peers on the St. Christopher's Truckers Fund today. Donate if you can. You never know when you may need some help too. That's truckersfund.org. Let's band together for a better tomorrow.
Attention all authors. Page Publishing is looking for authors. Have you written a book and want to get it published? Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, Apple iTunes, and other outlets. They handle all aspects of the publishing process for you. Printing, cover art, publicity, copyright, and editing. Call 800-501-3689 now for your free author submission kit. That's 800-501-3689 for your free author submission kit. Again, 800-501-3689.
The bait was so tempting. Free trip, gifts, then you got hooked by the sales pitch, bought the timeshare, and you've regretted it ever since.
The maintenance fees kept increasing, and we just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
It was not anything like what they showed us when we bought the timeshare.
Timeshares aren't a day at the lake. They're all catch and no release. Unless you talk to Resort Release. We can release you from that timeshare legally and permanently. A-plus rated by the BBB. A 100% money-back guarantee. And our clients' 5-star reviews tell the story.
You kept us informed the entire time. There was never anything hidden. Absolutely wonderful.
Be the one that got away before 2019 maintenance fees are due. Call now for a free consultation. 888-308-5955. 888-308-5955 or resortrelease.com. They catch, we release. Resort Release. 888-308-5955. 888-308-5955 or resortrelease.com. Call now.
Are you or someone you love one of the nearly 1 million Americans living with Parkinson's disease? There is no known cure, but you have the power to help change that by participating in a clinical trial. The Michael J. Fox Foundation will help you get started. Visit michaeljfox.org/participant pack to download the new Parkinson's Trial Participant Pack. It's free and it's available right now. That's michaeljfox.org/participant pack.
It's Red Eye Radio, 866-90 Red Eye. He's Eric Curley. I'm Gary McNamara. Just reading from there was a taped debate between Claire McCaskill of Missouri and Josh Hawley. I believe it was yesterday, and it's just the tweets that they put out beforehand, where Claire McCaskill is calling for, we need civility, we need civility, we need civility. Well, maybe the well-known Democrat should stop in her political ads calling Democrats crazy Democrats.
She's not one of those crazy Democrats.
So to Claire McCaskill, yes, we need civility, and we believe as a mainstream Democrat, you should not be calling other Democrats crazy.
Yes.
In your political ads.
Right.
You want civility, stop calling Democrats crazy, Claire McCaskill.
Please, be civil with the Democrats. Your fellow Democrats.
Yes, be civil with your fellow Democrats. How dare you? You're calling for civility and at the same time calling your fellow Democrats crazy in your political ads. In order to win office, you are demeaning and demonizing your entire party.
She votes the way she does on the Kavanaugh thing, and then those are crazy Democrats. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. How did you vote? Exactly. What? Yeah. That's funny. That's how she tries to position herself as a moderate. Well, those Democrats are crazy. We live in interesting times.
Civility, Claire McCaskill. Civility. Civility now.
Civility now.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
Join the conversation using the Shell Rotella hotline, 866-907-3339. Red Eye Radio and Shell Rotella, making your hard-working journeys more manageable.
Weigh your truck on a cat scale.
Oh, before we get back on the road, let's stop at this cat scale and weigh.
Definitely. Will you use the Weigh My Truck app?
You know I'm no good with technology.
It's easy. Just try it.
Okay. Ow. You can process the entire weigh on your smartphone and email your paperwork anywhere?
That's right.
So this is how we've been getting through the cat scale so fast.
Yep, and you pretend not to like technology.
For catness accuracy, weigh your truck on a cat scale.
When you weigh on a cat scale, you get a no excuses guarantee. If you get an overweight citation after weighing legal on a cat scale, we'll either reimburse you for the fine or go to court with you. At over 1,800 cat scale locations, we've got your back. You can now save time weighing by using your smartphone. Download the Weigh My Truck app from the Google Play Store or the App Store. Find out more at weighmytruck.com.
For catness accuracy, weigh your truck on a cat scale.
A great product deserves a great look. House Lubricator is introducing their new logo on their new labels. House is more than just their diesel treat anti-gel. They have a full family of great products. From House Meaner Power Cleaner, a top-of-the-line diesel injector cleaner and lubricator, to House Multi-Purpose Lubricator and Penetrating Oil, an alcohol-free product with over 1,001 uses. So look for the new logo and all of the great House products on the market. House Lubricator, a family company with a family of products that you can trust.
Owner-operators, we know everyone has flatbed freight these days. Make the best move for your business and let Mercer Transportation help you take advantage of that freight. With no company trucks, Mercer is committed to our owner-operators' success. We have fast pay, over 40 years experience, and offer a dedicated coordinator to help you manage it all, so you can focus on running your business. If you're looking to make a move, consider Mercer Transportation. Rock solid, owner-operator driven for over 40 years. Visit today at mercertown.com.
Hey, if you're driving right now and you'd like to read the informative and entertaining content found in the current September-October issue of Road King magazine, or if you'd like to listen, that's right, I said listen, as a voice easier on the ears than mine reads the stories to you, well, listen up. For starters, the print edition preferred by 90% of OTR drivers is now available for free, as in FREE at any TA Petro location nationwide. And if you're not fueling at a TA Petro location today, well, you're in luck. You can simply go to roadking.com on your tablet or laptop to read a page-turning version. Would you prefer to read Road King on your smartphone? Well, a scroll-down version is also available at roadking.com. Simply click on View Digital Version or Current Issue. To listen on your smartphone or Bluetooth-connected headset or speakers, just activate by clicking on the speaker icon for any story, and voila, just start listening. RoadKing.com.
News, talk, evolve. KABC, Los Angeles, Orange County, a Cumulus station.
Talk Radio 7. Talk Radio 790, KABC News, live and local at 11 o'clock. I'm Joe Myers. The New York Police Department says a report of 2 unattended packages at the Time Warner Center was a false alarm. Correspondent Miguel Marquez was eating at a restaurant in the building tonight when the building was evacuated.
There were 2 small boxes found on the 3rd floor of the mall. They couldn't account for them. Nobody knew exactly what they were doing there. So out of an abundance of caution, they cleared out the mall within minutes. NYPD had swarmed the mall. They brought in bomb-sniffing dogs. They brought in the bomb squad. They took all the bomb gear up into the mall, moved everybody off the top floors and down below, and then was able to clear the incident very quickly.
Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen tells Fox News that the U.S. Border Patrol has no intention to fire at people who may try to forcibly enter the country at the southern border. Her comments come as the Washington Post reports President Trump is considering a plan to ban entry to a caravan of Central American migrants trekking through Mexico toward the U.S.
Do not have any intention right now to shoot at people. They will be apprehended, however. But I also take my officer and agent their own personal safety extraordinarily seriously. They do have the ability, of course, to defend themselves.
Santa Monica detectives are trying to find more potential victims of a man accused of sexually abusing boys in a youth program.
Year-old Eric Euler is accused of victimizing minors between 1986 and 1995. LA County Sheriff's Lieutenant Todd Deeds says it happened during his time as a volunteer at the Santa Monica Police Athletic League.
We want to make sure that this man stays locked up and he doesn't harm any more young boys ever again.
Euler was already charged with molesting 4 boys when another 6 alleged victims came forward this week. Anyone with additional information is asked to call the Sheriff's Special Victims Bureau. James Rojas, KABC News.
KABC News Time is 11:02 with dependable traffic when you need it most.
Freeways are mostly in good shape, getting back to normal after the evening crunch. We've got a couple of clogged out vehicles. In Sherman Oaks, 101 northbound at Woodman, there is a car broken down in the right lane of traffic. And then also 110 south at Florence, there is a problem there with a construction pattern. It is causing some southbound slowing heading out of downtown from the Santa Monica Freeway to about Florence. You're going to be slow. And then the south 110 slow again, heading into Torrance between Redondo Beach Boulevard and Torrance Boulevard. Watch for heavy delays. 405 southbound at Normandy, we've got a vehicle fire, which is on the right shoulder. Otherwise, LA County looking pretty good. There was a collision on the 210 East at Irwindale Avenue. Now, that's going to be on the right shoulder. 60 East, Phillips Ranch Road, somebody broken down in the carpool lane. So California Highway Patrol has somebody there helping out. And on the 215 southbound at Nuevo Road in Riverside, we've got a 2-car wreck, which is blocking the number 2 lane. Orange County in pretty good shape. 5 southbound at Red Hill, vehicle broken down. KABC has dependable traffic when you need it most. I'm Cindy Berkey, Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Behind the Mic, furnished by Dalius Media.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Honest, I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My tux didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake, a terrible flood, locusts. It wasn't my fault, I swear to God!
Behind the Mic is live on this Thursday night, October 25th, 2018. Brad Dalius along with Keith Jackson coming to you on Talk Radio 790 KABC. Great to have you aboard. Another busy night in the world of sports. Keith and I fresh off of a visit over at Staples Center this evening. Lakers topping the Nuggets. Big night for LeBron and company. Big night for the show overall, Keith. We thank everybody who came out tonight to Staples. Like I said, the suite party, just a great turnout from everybody. Our promotional winner, of course, Solomon, winning this week, and he was in attendance tonight, Keith. And just a really great night for the show overall.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great show. It was great to see Solomon there and to have our guests, Brad, Thomas Scott, and just to have those and other people who are interested in the show. I had a great time, and wow, what a game today, right? Against the Denver Nuggets, LeBron James and company, and Kobe Bryant makes an appearance. It was just great to see.
Star-studded house, right? Kobe was there. How about Phil Mickelson? Did you catch Phil?
Oh man, I did. I saw him I saw Phil like right at the end. I was like, that's Phil Mickelson. It was great to see him there too as well. So, you know who else was there? Is Michael B. Jordan, the actor Michael B. Jordan from Creed. He was there as well. He's everywhere.
Yeah, this guy is killing it, right? I mean, he's in everything these days.
Yep.
I mean, he's just unbelievable. He makes his way around, and I think you said that Mayweather was also in the house.
Floyd
right?
was there. He was on the floor. And he didn't. I was wishing he could get to us, but he couldn't get there. But he was on the floor for sure. He did tell me he was on the floor. So, yeah, it was a great time, man. We had a great show.
As far as the game went tonight, the Lakers did some good things overall. We saw Lonzo Ball had some good shot opportunities, had some good passes tonight. Really, this team is starting to mix. It's interesting. I think that it maybe took the first maybe like 8-10 quarters of the season for LeBron maybe to get like 100% comfortable with, I don't know if it was just a new team, just being out in LA, whatever the case may be. But he seems to have kind of gotten into like a bit of a groove here, and the team obviously is really starting to feed off of that.
Yeah.
And you're seeing guys playing well. And I think that the roles are starting to develop. You know what I mean? We talked about like Josh Hart starting the game,
Yes.
Caldwell Pope being
Yes.
better off the bench. JaVale McGee, I'll tell you what. I mean, he has been
JaVale.
a steal of an acquisition. I mean, he's looked great. I mean, we talked about him being a rim protector, but it's just amazing. It's night and day. I mean, this team has so much more of a presence now up front compared to what we've seen the last couple of years.
Yes, they definitely do. They're playing a lot more faster when I look at, if Lonzo's scoring, I think Lonzo's going to do well for the team if he's scoring. That's what makes it better. He had a great steal today. But I just want to read this stat line for you guys and all you Laker nations out there. LeBron James, 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Triple-double. What does that sound like? That sounds like a Magic Johnson type of stat right there. And that's who when I look at him, I'm like, that's who I compare him. And that's a quiet, to be honest with you, Brad, that was a quiet 28. Lance Stevenson came off the bench and did some big things today and really got that crowd going. At one moment, I was sitting there with our special guest, Thomas Scott, and we were like, I don't know, this may get away from him today. And next thing you know, they make a run at the 3-minute mark. I remember I said, Brad, 3 minutes, they got to make a run. And they made that run at that 3-minute mark. It was a great run, and it kind of put them over the top. I love the Kyle Kuzma, the way he's playing right now. And, I think when you start to see those guys play more, you start to realize, and I think Luke Walton starts to realize that, Kyle Kuzma and is a starter, man. He's not a guy to come off the bench. I just think it's politics with Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's a great. He was one of the top draft picks, so you put him in there. But Brandon Ingram, man, I think he's better coming off the bench or something. He's not a Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma is a shark.
Not even close.
He's a shark, Brad. He's a shark, and he's out there trying to get it. And look, Lonzo did some great things, but I think it's just going to take time. That's all it is. It's just going to take some time. I think Rajon definitely is a starter for them, and he brings a defensive presence. But look, if Lonzo coming off the bench and did what he did tonight, man, that's just a bonus within itself. So it was great to see the way these guys played tonight. And they just got to keep it rolling. And like you said, it takes time when you got a new team, a new chemistry, players. They got to go out there and play. It just takes a little time to get them to gel with each other. But they'll start to figure it out, and they have.
1-800-222-5222 is always want to hear from you tonight at 1-800-222-5222. Your thoughts so far in this early young Lakers season, what you've seen, what you've liked, what you haven't liked, and just the overall vibe right now, and just, comparing it to everyone in the West. It's just amazing how we knew the West was really good coming into the season. That's no surprise, but just how deep the conference continues to be on a night in and night out basis. I mean, you look around, there's no easy games anywhere. I mean, we see that tonight, obviously, and Denver obviously is one of the better teams. They're off to a really hot start here, and this is their first loss of the season. Mm-hmm. But there's no easy ones. But you just kind of think how with LeBron here and how stacked it is, and just compared to the Eastern Conference, and with LeBron now off of Cleveland, they look a mess. They look like the worst team in the league, by the way.
Oh, they are. I don't think they haven't even won a game. Horrible. They haven't even won a game yet, man. They haven't won a game yet. So, they do look a mess. But, we'll see how it goes, man. I think it's going to this season is still early right now for a lot of these players. And, we just got to see how things kind of pan out right now. But right now, the Lakers are rolling, man. They're rolling. And it's, when I walked in here today, I saw our good old friend Mike, and Mike said to me, he said, man, you can finally watch a Laker game, and it's just great to see. Like, you can enjoy it, and it's fun. And it is fun to see that. I mean, it's a lot of excitement out there, man. So
yeah, they were a little hard on the eyes.
Yeah, it is. It was.
Couple of years. It's been a little rough.
But hey,
that's no secret.
We got a caller in here, so let's get him on. We got Solomon from Lake Balboa, who was our special guest. Solomon, you're on the line.
Thanks so much, guys. I had to call in because I had to thank you personally, and I wanted to let the listeners know what a phenomenal experience it was tonight. I had the absolute greatest time. You remember I couldn't eat. I told you when I got there, man. Yeah. I could not eat half time.
So we had this great spread of food, right, Keith, tonight?
Yeah.
And Solomon, he was just all in his glory. And who wouldn't be, right? It's a Lakers game. That's the best. And we really
Well,
appreciate you
yeah.
being out there tonight, Solomon.
Well, and listen, guys, I appreciate you. It wasn't just a Laker game. I mean, you get a suite at a Laker game. What are you kidding me? You're up there with the hoi polloi, you know.
Yeah.
But, it was. I so appreciate it and want to make a point to let the listeners know that you were great guys and we had a really good time together. And I wanted to thank you, publicly.
Well, we love to have we're happy you were there today, Solomon. It was a great time.
Yes.
Well deserved for you. And all
well,
we love our listeners, man, and we just want them to continue to call in and just talk sports with us because we enjoy it. So thank you for
now,
coming.
Solomon and I, Keith, had a debate tonight during the game.
Oh, what was that?
Inside the suite about how who's maybe the most dominant Laker in history. Now, for most people, who are a little bit younger, like Keith, you and I are, we go with Shaq as far as probably the most dominant Laker we've seen since we've been watching. Now, obviously, Solomon has watched Lakers basketball for decades.
Exactly.
And he says that it's Wilt Chamberlain. And I know, Keith, you've probably seen highlights of Wilt Chamberlain.
I have.
A lot of people have seen highlights. Right, and there's no doubt that Wilt is still – he was amazing. But it's interesting because Solomon, the point that if Shaq would have maybe even, worked on, let's say, for example, like his free throws, it was a little bit of a struggle sometimes with Shaq at the charity stripe. If he would have maybe worked on something like that or different aspects of his game, he could have been even, more so dominant in the paint. So it's just one of those interesting debates that rolls on throughout the course of time here, some of the most dominant Lakers. But no doubt both players were great in their day. So
they definitely were great in their day. And I definitely remember those. I looked at some tape of Wilt Chamberlain, and man, he used to really. I mean, no one could stop him. At one point, I think they couldn't even dunk the ball anymore because of him. When they first started it. So
here's the thing, guys, about Wilt. First of all, Brad, I told you the caveat though about Shaq. You said Wilt was more dominant than Shaq, and I said if Shaq would have had Kobe's work ethic, he would have been the greatest of all time. Hands
That's true.
down.
You did say that. You did say that.
Yeah.
I didn't. I wanted to. I don't want to rip on Shaq now. I don't want to.
But we're going to say.
Daddy,
a little bit of a clown, and I think it affected his legacy. But going back to, I lost sort of my train of thought with Wilt and being unstoppable. LeBron is kind of a modern day Wilt, in a sense like this. When Wilt Chamberlain came in, there was no center that could do what he did when Wilt Chamberlain came in. People were not used to that size and strength and ability. Similar to LeBron, I don't think there's another player since, and we may never see it again, with that size, that strength, and that ability in every aspect of the game. He's a freak, man. He's an absolute freak.
He's a freak. But there's one guy that I can, and I said this. I just said it on the show earlier. Was the Magic Johnson? I mean, Magic Johnson, 6'9", who can play center, who did play center. Matter of fact, when Kareem went down, and he had to play center in the championship the year they won they beat the Boston Celtics, and his stat line, it was pretty much the same. Magic Johnson was one guy who can win a game without scoring a bucket, and has done it.
I would agree.
And so, when we go into that, I think that LeBron is more similar to a Magic Johnson. Now, Magic Johnson, he can do the no-look passes. Magic can dunk the ball as well. He probably didn't have as much as upsets what LeBron James has, but everything else was there. So I would have to say more and compare him of a Magic Johnson than a Wilt Chamberlain, Solomon. I could probably go all day with you on that one, though.
No, and I understand your point. I was saying more like a Wilt as far as physical, just his size and strength in that position. But yeah, the type of player he is, by the way, which I like. See, I like that stat line. I'm not in love with ISO basketball. Kobe fans, man, they just love this guy because he was a shooter. And I'm not like that. I like a LeBron. I like a Magic Johnson type of player. That balanced stat line usually ends up in more wins for your team than if you just are a scorer. And, sometimes you pull it out for your team, sometimes you don't. But if you can have those that skill set across, rebounds, assists, and scoring, that's a great combination. That's a LeBron James.
Well, thanks, Solomon. I definitely take your point, in hand, and I thank you for the call. I thank you for coming too, man. It was great having you
thanks,
there,
Solomon.
man. It was
Again,
great.
My pleasure. You two guys were great, and I thank you so much.
There we go. Solomon and Lake Balboa, 1-800-222-5222. A quick break, and we're back for more after this.
Are you prepared for the upcoming season? Get immune support you can really count on. Quantum Nutrition Labs has 3 key players for optimal immune support on special. Garlic Complex with its high, concentrated amounts of allicin. Immune support featuring ultra-quality olive leaf extract and all-natural plant-sourced vitamin C. Buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. Call 888-588-7578. That's 888-588-7578. Or visit us online at qnlabs.com. That's qnlabs.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Tune in to get your questions answered and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. Our product line, Quantum Nutrition Labs, delivers what others only promise, nutrition that really works.
Can I tell you how we came up with the name Rooter Hero Plumbing? Hello, I'm John Okoyan, owner of Rooter Hero. When I was a kid, I grew up with Superman, who stood for truth, justice, and the American way. Wow, what a motto. Superman was always on time and he never failed. And so I thought, if I'm going to start a plumbing company, I want to be like Superman. I want to be the one to save your day. If I have a superpower, it's that I keep my word. In fact, all our Rooter heroes have that superpower. So if we tell you we're going to do something, we're going to do it. Now here's our offer. Rooter Hero will cable your drain for $77, period. So call Rooter Hero at 866-DRAIN-77.
I'm so confident that you'll be satisfied with our services that I put my cell phone number on every business card. 866-DRAIN-77. That's 866-DRAIN-77.
Everybody needs a hero. RooterHero.com.
Hey, small business owners, you know that clear and straightforward communication is crucial to your business. So when AT&T says one thing and then actually means another, it gets extremely frustrating. For example, AT&T says that they have fast internet, but what they really mean is basic internet with slow starting speeds that can't keep up with your business. Now, Spectrum Business Internet starting speed is 100 megabits per second. That's much faster than AT&T. And when AT&T says that they've got affordable small business rates, they really mean that they're going to add taxes and charge you more for services that you need. But when Spectrum Business says they have blazing fast internet for $44.99 a month and voice for just $29.99 a month, they mean it. No hidden taxes and no extra fees. Nothing ever. Oh, by the way, no contracts either. So if you're stuck in an AT&T contract, Spectrum Business will buy you out. Search for Spectrum Business to see what they can do for your small business. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Kiss and make her one last time. Touch me like you touch nobody. Put your hands all up on me. Tired out here inside. Kiss and make her. How about we leave this party? 'Cause all I want is you up on me. Tired out here inside. Kiss and make her. Kiss and make her. Kiss and make her. Kiss and make her.
121-114. Lakers get it done tonight at home over the Denver Nuggets. Like I said, a big night really for the whole entire team. It was a good team victory overall. LeBron records a triple-double there, and they were just feeling it. I mean, down the stretch, they had complete control of this game. In the final couple of minutes, they really kind of seized control overall. So Lakers off and running here, seem to be finding their stride a little bit here now. After losing the first couple games of the season, now winning a couple in a row, things are looking good. Meanwhile, also tonight, Houston blows out Miami on Thursday Night Football 42-23. We'll get into that one tonight as well. We'll talk a little Dodgers, obviously Game 3, an extremely important Game 3 coming up tomorrow. Dodger Stadium, young Walker Buehler takes the hill. Rick Porcello will get the ball for Boston. I have a couple thoughts on that pitching matchup coming up as well. Back to the phones we go now, though, and we say hello to Mike in Sherman Oaks. Mike, you're on Behind the Mic. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great, Brad, and I am so ecstatic that you've got this show on every night. Just amazing that KBC has the wisdom and the time slot to talk with a real sportsman and not a homer, an objective, experienced commentator who tells it like it is. So thank you, Brad.
Well, thanks, Mike. That's really kind of you to say that. We appreciate it.
And well, it's the truth. And I get to hear Solomon bring in his opinion. And I've known Solomon for many years. Even though I don't agree with him on everything, he definitely is a well-informed person. But you see, being the Chief Justice here, which I am, of the NBA Supreme Court, you cannot combine eras and judge people. Wilt Chamberlain was so strong and powerful that if he played in this era right now, he would be indefensible, completely indefensible. But he played in a different era. Now, Shaq, they didn't know how to call enough fouls against the other people that tried to guard him. That's how dominant Shaq was. So he got fouled virtually on every touch. Grace, ball control, and being able to dish the ball off. You have the two Magic and LeBron. Those two guys are very similar in their games. And then you talk about shooters. Until the last 10 years or 15 years, the three-point shot was something that was discouraged. You were called a gunner. You were yelled at by your coach. You were benched if you were shooting a three-point shot. It was about the triangle. It was about passing the ball, making sure, even up till recently with the Spurs or even Golden State, you can watch 3 or 4 touches before the ball is shot.
And Mike, you know what? You make a great point there, because I was when we were sitting there watching the game, Brad, Thomas and we were talking about it and saying, look, in the middle of the game, you saw the reason why Denver was going up. They had 5 to 6 passes before a shot went down. Sometimes they'll wind the clock down to 6 seconds on the shot clock, and they'll score. The Lakers, they went down, and it was more standstill type of ball. And where it was is that ball moved to LeBron, and then everybody just spaced out and see what he was going to do. Now, you're not going to win like that every single time. I think you need to do a lot moving. That's when the triangle offense comes in. The triangle offense is the type of offense I love to run, because for myself, when I was coaching, because the ball, you had a lot of ball movement. You couldn't keep the ball in your hand. And it was based on players who weren't the best ball handlers. So that's what you like to see. Golden State, they do the same thing. They run a little bit of the triangle offense, but they move the ball efficiently all the time. And that's when you get wide open shots. And I think the Lakers need to do that a lot more in order to be successful. They pulled the game out tonight because they got some rebounds, they kicked the ball out, they pushed up the floor. But if they're going to play teams like the Golden State and compete with teams like that, or Utah, they got to move the ball a lot more.
Yeah, they're not there yet, clearly. And anyone who thinks that they are needs to pump the brakes real quick, because they're not.
Yeah.
But you are seeing them being a whole lot more competitive in these first couple of games. You saw that in against Houston, the home opener. You saw it throughout the first couple of games here. They really have been in more competitive games, especially against San Antonio as well, pushing them to overtime. And obviously they're starting to get some momentum here. But like I said at the top, I thought that LeBron was still trying to kind of find himself in the first, couple games, first 8-10 quarters of the season, and now he's looking more like LeBron. And I mean, you saw it tonight. I mean, some of these layups and dunks were like practice, honestly. I mean, it's unbelievable. But yeah, it's going to continue to be a work in progress, but they're going to get better.
They're definitely going to get it better.
Right, that's the beauty of having a LeBron on your team. They're only going to improve as time goes along.
And let me ask you this, Mike: are you enjoying watching the Lakers play right now?
This is the most exciting Laker basketball in 6 or 7 years since Dr. Buss passed away, and I've been following the Lakers as long as Solomon has. I go back to the late '60s. So yes, And Keith made an excellent point about this is only the fourth or fifth game. If the Lakers at game 41, it's an 82-game season, are right about at the 500 point. If they're at 500, that it's no time to hit the panic button. They are learning where each other is going to be without having to look where they're going to be. You're the coach, Brad. You know it's being able to peripherally see where on offense where your teammate's going to be or where your teammate likes the ball at. I'm not worried about that. Now LeBron's holding the ball. I look at the shot clock. Oh, it's 16 seconds, and he's holding that ball the last 16 seconds. I'm not worried. It's 5 games into the season with the best player on earth on your team. Young players, Ingram, Kuz, Ball.
Exactly.
Hart.
Yeah. This is the best player they've ever played with in their entire life.
Yeah.
Right? That's the best player they've ever played with in their entire life. It's going to take a slight adjustment or two to get over like that shock and awe factor.
Exactly.
Like, while we're actually playing with LeBron James on this team, this is actually for real. He's actually here with the Lakers.
Look, it's like you said, it's early right now, and it's not what you do now, it's what you do later. And
I'm not concerned at all about that.
Yeah.
Guys, what they do, if they come in at 47 to 53 wins, and it's not going to be easy to make that 7 or 8 spot. I was going through my checklist here, and there are, I'm just looking here, and maybe you can help me out. I don't know if you want to take a minute or two and take a look and take a look at the Western Conference, but I see Denver. Just tell me yes or no. Denver playoffs, New Orleans playoffs.
Yes.
Golden State, Portland, yes. San Antonio.
Yeah, that's a great point. Go right down the list. All these teams are capable of making the playoffs. That's how deep the conference is overall. So, I mean, the Lakers right now are basically like in the 10th hole. I know it's crazy to actually do that this early in the season, but you know what I mean? It's so deep right now. And you could see so many teams making it.
And you got to also remember, there's teams out there that we didn't talk about that are shocking people. Like, for instance, Utah. Nobody thought Utah was going to be in the top 3. Right now, they are a top 3. Also, look at Portland. Portland's a team that no one thought. Look, Portland didn't even make any moves. Matter of fact, I'll do it, but you even better. Damian Lillard went into the office and said, "Look, you need to do something because he most likely was going to be out." That didn't happen, but he's still there. And look what they're doing right now. I believe they won tonight against Orlando, and so
winning basically is the only thing that's going to keep him happy.
Exactly right. Yeah. So what I'm getting at is that we don't know what's going to happen. We just know right now the West is stacked, and these guys are playing some great ball right now, and the Lakers are one of the team. But I'm going to say this like I say it all the time. At the end of the day, Lakers will be the top 3 team in the West, hands down.
Mike, great call. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. 1-800-222-5222. A quick break, and we're back for more after this.
Talk Radio 790 KABC News, live and local at 11:30. I'm Joe Myers. In light of the nationwide pipe bomb scare and candidates trading partisan attacks, Republican Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise joins those calling for unity.
This isn't what America's all about. I'm disturbed by the fact that it's happening over and over again. You shouldn't just call it out when it's against your own party and be silent when it's against the other party. We have to be equal in how we denounce this. There's no place for this, any kind of violent act in our American politics.
Police have released images of vehicles and a man they believe are involved in the theft of luxury wheels from cars in Pasadena and elsewhere in Southern California. In a statement, Pasadena police say in most cases, the suspects enter secured parking garages and target high-end luxury vehicles. The suspects remove the vehicle's wheels and leave the parked cars on cinder blocks. KABC News Time is 11:31 with dependable traffic when you need it most.
Well, we have a two-car wreck that was cleared in Encino 101 northbound at White Oak, so that's off to the side. So watch for a little bit of activity possibly on the right. Seeing some backup on the northbound Hollywood Freeway, heading from North Hollywood, the 170 northbound between North Hollywood and Sun Valley. Delays heavy between the 101 and Sherman Way, and also a work zone on the northbound Golden State Freeway in Santa Clarita from the 126 to Hasley Canyon. There are 2 right lanes of traffic taken away. There's also some slow traffic heading into Carson, southbound 110 freeway from Rosecrans. Pretty heavy delays to the 405. Caltrans is setting up a cone pattern. Vehicle fire 405 southbound at Normandy. It is on the right shoulder, so just be aware that that is going on off to the right. Orange County incident-free, looking great. The Glendale Freeway, the 2 northbound, new problem. Northbound 2 at Holly Drive, 2 cars got together, right lanes of traffic blocked, and the 134 east to the 2 north. We've got a vehicle broken down, someone outside the vehicle, so be careful. KABC has dependable traffic when you need it most. I'm Cindy Berkey, Talk Radio 790 KABC.
Please join us at the Orange County Register Successful Aging Expo on Saturday, October 27th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Hyatt Regency, Orange County. The day is filled with free activities and services, including health screenings, a variety of exhibitors, and bingo. Informational presentations will be held throughout the day with topics covering non-surgical pain relief options, Medicare 101, common aging conditions, advances in Alzheimer's research, heart health, breast cancer awareness, financial planning, and much more. Admission and parking are free. For more information, go to successfulagingexpo.com.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
Hey, it's Brad Dalius, host of Behind the Mic, and we're wrapping up your day with your favorite LA sports teams, the latest buzz in national sports, and more. Weeknights at 11 on Talk Radio 790 KABC.
How would you like to legally turn your garage into a great apartment that you could rent out for money each month, turning your dust into dollars? Curious? Call 833-4-DREAM-LIFE now and tune in to Living the Dream with Sandy Dunkley every Saturday evening at 7 p.m. on KABC.
Hi, this is Peter Tilden, and I got to tell you, I've been promoting Natron's Healthy Trinity Probiotics on the radio for over a decade. They changed my life, my wife's life, many of our listeners' lives. They feel better, and you could too. Listen to what Dr. Chris Diadamo, the Director of Research at the Center for Integrative Medicine at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, has to say.
If you experience gas, bloating, indigestion, loose stool, or constipation, this is not something that you just have to deal with. But I was actually introduced to Natron Probiotics for my own personal use. I had been suffering from persistent indigestion, and nothing I had tried had really helped me until I tried Natron Probiotics. Natron Probiotics provide sustained relief and greatly improved my quality of life to this day, just as they have for countless people across the world. I'm a real believer in the power of Natron Probiotics, and as a result, I recommend them to literally everybody. If your probiotic doesn't say Natron on the label, you'll never feel the Natron difference.
Others promise, Natron delivers, except no substitute. Go to natron.com or the probiotic cooler section at Whole Foods, Sprouts, or your favorite health food store.
This is Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
I'm living, I'm picking it up, I'm picking it up, picking it up. Loving, I'm living, so we turn it up. Yeah, we turning it up. Ain't got no tears in my.
So real quick, we'll put a bow on this Lakers victory tonight. Mike handed me here, Mike, our board operator, the box score for tonight and the stat line. Lance Stevenson, big game. 25 minutes tonight, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 12 points overall. Was really nailing it from downtown, Keith. Oh. And just one of those players that, if he kind of gets rolling, he's going to be hot for that. He's going to provide a lot.
There is one play I have to say that he did that was incredible. He got the ball, he was pushing up the floor, and actually got LeBron out. He hit LeBron off a break. LeBron came in with a slam dunk. It was a nice, beautiful pass, too. Nice chest pass, right on the money. LeBron caught it in stride, boom, knocked it in, and it was like timeout after that, but that was a beautiful play from him. Look, he's a spark off the bench. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of, Meta World Peace, a.k.a. Ron Artest. Like, I love the way he plays. He gets the crowd going.
When are we going to have him on this show?
Meta. You know what? I've been trying to. You know what? I'm calling them out right now. Meta World Peace, because I know you listen to the show. I know you listen. We want you in studio. We want to talk to you, Meta. Come on. Take your meds. Get out here, man. Let's go.
He always has a lot to say, that's for sure.
Yeah, he
always
great.
has a lot to say.
He's great. He's a great guy, man. He's a great guy. But I would also love to hear him talk about Lance Stevenson because he reminds me of Stevenson reminds me of Ron Artest.
They can get up in your face. They can disrupt you. They can get you off your game. And they're that type of like pit bull player you want on your team.
Yes.
Pain and thorn in your side if he's not on your team, but if he's your teammate, you're loving him. You're loving that effort.
Yeah.
Kind of like Rondo.
Yes. Exactly. You love him or you hate him. That's the thing about him. So it was great to see what he did tonight, and he was very impressive to me. So it was a great game all in one, man. You can just feel the Laker atmosphere and how it was. It's really that you feel that spirit back into like LeBron rejuvenated the Laker nation.
You think?
He did.
Yeah, easily. It's amazing what it really, you kind of reflect on that sometimes and just think, wow, the impact superstars have when they go to not just a team. The Lakers, the team, that's small compared to the whole brand of of LeBron coming to LA.
Exactly. And just a side note, the performance they put on in front of the Kobe was impressive.
Now, it's interesting. He was very neutral tonight. I was kind of watching him on the bench. He was kind of on his phone. He really didn't clap as much. I guess he's trying to, like I said, kind of play it neutral.
Game. Yeah, he's playing it neutral, but, he worked out a lot of these guys, too.
You've said
and I'm sure
that's true, yeah.
He's worked them out. He's checking them out, see what they're doing and stuff like that. And I think he was at ESPN next door, so he is promoting his book. Promoting his book. And then he went across the street, talked to Lakers. I'm sure he talked to them inside the locker room and things like that before they went out there. But it was a great time. It was so funny because when I was sitting next to Thomas, because Thomas coached Kobe Bryant.
That's right.
The Lakers. He said, he's hilarious, man. He goes, Kobe can't stand still. He got to be doing something the whole time. And
are they still pretty close?
They're still pretty close.
Yeah,
matter of fact, they're still pretty close. And he said, Kobe always got to be doing something, man. That's just one thing about him. He's just always got to be doing something. He has that little itch. He keeps going. So, and you can see that too. You can tell, like he wasn't there with his family today. I didn't see them on the bench. I mean, on the floor with. I think it was just him. But it was great. But it's great to see the things he's doing too. Like he's coaching his daughter. He's got a book. He's got a storytelling thing going on. So it's good to see him do other things as well. So it was, man, the Laker fever was going tonight, though. When they saw him, did you see that ovation they gave, that standing ovation they gave when he was there? I mean, wow, it was incredible.
Rightfully so. Obviously one of the all-time Laker greats and NBA all-time greats overall. And always great to see him in the building.
Well, as Magic Johnson says, and I agree, he's the best Laker to ever put on a Laker jersey.
That's debatable. And
that's debatable, but
I love Kobe, and like you, Keith. I mean,
who's next?
Who I would say is maybe above Kobe.
Above
Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson. To me, when
Mike
I think
just went in my ear and said Elgin Baylor.
Yeah, I mean Elgin's great. He doesn't get enough credit that he deserves. I think that's a big part of it. Jerry West.
Jerry West, the logo, yeah.
Yeah, the all-time Laker though to me will always be Magic Johnson.
That's true.
Always be Magic Johnson. But you can make the case for a lot of these guys. So that's the thing about when you come to, I had this discussion with someone earlier tonight about when you come to a team like the Lakers, so historical and they've had so much success with championships and such. I mean, you can be an all-time great player and you'll still be, considered maybe like 1A, 1B to some of these other guys. That's what LeBron's kind of facing coming in here now as well. But I think LeBron at this point just kind of he embraces just being a part of the family of Laker greats. So he will probably go down to become.
I have to say this. All you LA fans and locals out here today, you got to call on the show. I want to hear from the fans too. Who is the greatest Laker to ever put on the jersey? I want to hear. I'm interested to know. That's a great poll to put up, to be honest with you, Brad, because you make a great point. Yeah, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor. But, man, I don't know. Like, Kobe Bryant was just he was just a dynamic player that you saw. I'm not taking nothing away from Jerry West and all those guys. The logo, he was exceptional with himself, Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain spent enough time at the Lakers to be a Laker to be that guy, though. You get what I'm saying?
That's fair.
But Kobe spent 20 years.
He left his imprint, though, regardless.
That's
which
true.
To me is maybe just as impressive. You
True.
know what I mean? Depending on how you view it, but that's impressive in itself.
Yeah.
So great question, though. Great question overall. Once again, 1-800-222-5222, weighing on some Lakers stuff. I want to mix in some Dodgers here because we've got a pivotal Game 3 coming up tomorrow, as we know. Down 2-0. Walker Buehler takes the ball. Loved what I saw out of him, Keith, in Game 7 of the NLCS.
Yeah.
This guy was as cool as ice for a rookie to start a Game 7 on the road, nonetheless. He couldn't have been better, and he really bounced back from that divisional start against the Braves where he gave up a couple of runs, came back from that, shows tremendous poise on the mound, great command of all of his stuff. They're going to need that and some tomorrow. And going for the Red Sox is Rick Porcello, who's been good in the postseason, but he can be hit or miss. And if you're the Dodgers, you just hope that he's a little bit off tomorrow. You get a solid start from Walker Buehler. And Dave Roberts absolutely has to start Cody Bellinger.
Yes.
And I want to see Max Muncy in the lineup. Like I said last time, I'm going to continue to beat that drum because just because the analytics team in the front office and such might be calling for different guys in the lineup, you have to go by the eye test. Look at Alex Cora with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
He embraces analytics and the sabermetrics of the game, but he also has the eye test, and he's made some decisions that have been kind of like, a little criticized, a little critiqued here and there, but it's panned out for this team. So, you know what I mean? It can always be like a genius or bust type of a move, but I think you have to be willing to take that risk. You know what I mean? You cannot play it just too much on one end of the analytics, or you can't go the opposite way either. You got to find that common medium. But there's no doubt about it. You have to start Cody Bellinger. You have all that firepower, Keith. You can't bring him off the bench. Remember, it doesn't work bringing him off the bench because you have guys warming up in the bullpen for the Red Sox. These guys are coming in fresh, warmed up. These guys are coming in cold off the bench. I don't like it. I think it's a recipe for disaster. And if they go down tomorrow night, and he doesn't start some of these guys, I mean, that to me is just, he deserves to be called out for it even more so. Hopefully he's learned what didn't work in Boston, and they can kind of get something going here tomorrow night. But, yeah, the offense is the biggest thing. I mean, retired last 16 batters. That's what we saw last night.
The bottom line is you got to play your best players on the biggest stage of baseball. And he's not playing the best players. That's the problem. You need to be starting those guys. Those guys should be starting almost every game, to be honest with you. I mean, that's what you go. You got to pull out your stops. Right now, honestly, when you look at this, you have to play them. You got to play your studs, you have to start them in the beginning because forget about strategy. Forget about all that. It's really about star players show up to big games, to big stages, and they get it done. That's what you have to, and you got to believe in those guys. There's a reason why you pay them the amount of money you pay them. There's a reason why you brought them there. It's for postseason play. It's for World Series. It's like this, the main stage. What is there to hold back? Why hold them back in the bullpen? What the strategy and all that stuff? That's overcoaching. Like I said, he overcoached the last two games. He got to let his guys go. He got to let them go. And so how I'm looking at this right now is do or die right now. You got to win today. I mean, tomorrow. You got to win the next day. You cannot go back to Boston 3-2 Boston, or you have to be leading pretty much because you're not going to win two games straight.
You're going to win 3 in a row.
You cannot win. You're not going to win 2 games straight in Boston. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen.
I agree.
That's not going to happen. So they got to take care of tomorrow. Tomorrow, these games right here in L.A., they got to really take care of those games. They got to zone in. They got to focus. They got to worry. They can't worry about errors, things like that. They got to make sure they limit those type of things. And look, the Puigs, the Monsees, the Turners, the Machados, the Buellers, all those guys, they got to show up from here on out. It is do or die. So we'll see what happens. It's really a really anxious time for a lot of Dodger fans out there, including myself when I watch this game. But they got to take care of those first 3 innings, Brad. I'm telling you, they can't go. They have to win innings. They can't tie in innings. And what I mean by tie is 0-0. They have to actually win innings. And if they can't do that, they're going to lose.
Something to keep in mind tomorrow is the shadows at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And we talked about how that can affect batters at the plate not necessarily being able to read the ball as well coming from the pitcher's hand. That's something that's big because you talk about getting off to a good start in the first couple of innings. And the Red Sox bat first. If you're at home, obviously you have the home field advantage on that, but the Red Sox are up at the plate first. Mookie Betts cannot get on base to
Thank
start this game, to lead off the game. He can't lead off an inning. He's going to get his hits he's the American League MVP in all likelihood coming up here. But to start off an inning, you just can't let him get on base, because one thing what winds up happening is he steals bases, and the whole country gets free tacos, by the way, from Taco Bell. You like that? Like that little taco
I
deal?
think I can do a taco great. But no, not this time around. Geez. Man, Dodgers better not get swept. I tell you that much.
I don't think they're going to get. I really don't think they're going to get swept. I think there's enough with this team to get a win or two in the series at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get swept. I mean, this is a good Red Sox team, but this is not like a historically great.
No,
Red Sox team.
they're a good team, and they capitalize on errors
all the time.
They'll capitalize on your errors, and they'll make it hurt when it does. But one thing we just have to do, look, the pitching was great. Baez, you got to let him go. If he's in there and he's throwing out strikes, Roberts, you can't pull him out. You can't pull him out and put somebody else in. And again, analytics and strategy. No, let him go. Like if he's rolling, let him roll. That's my thing.
Perfect
and you gotta know Kershaw is not the same Kershaw. Sorry, Dodger fans. But Kershaw is not the same Kershaw who was a couple years ago. He's not that guy anymore. So the bottom line is you can't leave him. He can't throw 57 pitches. No, not anymore. That's not who he is anymore. He can give you 2, maybe three innings at the most, but you can't ride him all the way to the end until his arm is tired, and then he's not. Then all of a sudden we're deep in the hole. He's not the same guy. We got to give up on that. We got to understand that people get older and they're not the same. And so Kershaw is just not that. He can spare you a couple of innings, but that's it. You can't ride him until 6, 7 innings. He can't do that.
Behind the Mic on KABC Radio continues after this.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Open enrollment for health insurance is here and the deadline is only weeks away. You already know there's a healthcare crisis. Rates have exploded, insurance carriers are leaving, unexpected medical bills and deductibles are at an all-time high, and it's only getting worse. But we have great news. There have been significant changes to the healthcare law. Under the new rules, you may qualify to get better coverage, better benefits, the freedom to go to any medical provider you want, and save thousands on your healthcare starting today. Licensed advisors are standing by to take your call, but you must act now. Call us at 800-240-7010 and we'll listen to your needs, explain your options, and get you into the perfect plan. Even if you're short on time, call and let's schedule a time to speak at your convenience. Call buyhealthinsurance.com at 800-240-7010. Your family's health is our #1 priority. That number once again is 800-240-7010. Call now. 800-240-7010.
You're listening to Behind the Mic with Brad Dalius.
No, we never choose. Always wishing for something to come true. What can you do? When baby, you know love got you.
Welcome back. Behind the Mic here on 790 AM. Brad and Keith taking you up into the top of the hour. Talking Lakers, getting a big home victory tonight over the Rockets. We also talked a little Dodgers, Red Sox prior to Game 3 tomorrow of the World Series. As that series shifts now to Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine It's a big one. Walker Buehler, a lot of pressure on the young fellow, but we think he can handle it. I mean, he looked really good, like I said, in the NLCS that Game 7. So as a Dodgers fan, I think you have to have a lot of confidence in him because he's done it consistently over the course of this season right now. So big game coming up tomorrow night. In the NFL, as we teased earlier, Houston all over Miami, Keith, 42-23.
Yeah.
No Tannehill once again. So Osweiler gets a start, and he was okay. We were just talking about his stat line off the air here, but it throws an interception. Not good enough is really the bottom line, what he's able to present. And Houston starting to find themselves a little bit now. This is how we thought they would play at the beginning of the season, for the first couple of weeks, not so much here towards the middle of the season. So they're starting to get something going, especially offensively. Deshaun Watson just went bonkers. 5 touchdowns. We've been looking for this. I mean, Bill O'Brien is like, finally, I've got a quarterback that can consistently throw touchdowns. That's not injured, healthy, good quarterback, good decisions in the pocket or scrambling. As Watson, it really comes across as a high IQ football type guy.
Let's call it what it is, though. Deshaun Watson is a playmaker, and he gets that offense going. You know, one thing about him, and that's why DeAndre Hopkins loves him, because not only, the long balls that he throws, he has a rocket arm. You know, and I have to say this. I think he struggled a little bit because I think he just didn't have enough confidence in his knee. And that happens when he had his ACL tear last year and he was out for the season. And I think Deshaun Watson, felt like, look, my knee is, it's his knee, mobility and things like that. And I think he was a little nervous about that. That plays games with your mind sometimes when you're just coming off an ACL tear and you come back.
We
you
overlook
get nervous.
it all the time.
Yeah, and
all the time.
You just don't trust it yet. And I think after a while, you just say, you know what? If I get hurt, I get hurt again. But I think right now what is going on with him, he's just playing exceptionally well. And it goes down the list. Look, the defense is starting to wake up. You know, your J.J. Watt is getting back there like he always does and getting to the quarterback, and they're just making plays. And right now, you look at the AFC South; they've taken a commanding lead in terms of standings. You know, so
don't even bother trying to place a wager on this division at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, if anything, maybe this Houston team now. But you get where I'm going with it. I mean, whether it's between Tennessee, Mike Vrabel deciding to go for 2 versus 1 at the end of the game, Jacksonville just laying eggs all over the place, and then you never know with Indy. You never know with the Colts at all because sometimes luck can pull one out of his back pocket.
Yeah.
But mostly that's just a bad roster right now. So you know what I mean. Placing a wager on this division is probably not the smartest thing at the moment to do, but this Texans team is the outlier at the moment for the better of this division, and in an AFC that right now everyone's talking about Kansas City. They are the hot new shiny toy everyone wants to talk about, everyone wants to kind of play with. And, Deshaun Watson kind of probably not getting as much love as Patrick Mahomes is right now. So maybe they're feeling that a little bit. Maybe he's been feeling that. He doesn't strike me as someone who really reads into, like, the news clippings and the social media and all that kind of stuff. Hard worker type of a guy by all accounts. And but my biggest thing is that it's just I think you really have to feel good for, like I said, Bill O'Brien, because this is a guy who I always felt has been a good coach since he's been in this league. But again, because they've been decimated by injuries for so many years now, it's either they have the guys offensively and they're down on defense, or vice versa with injuries. But now they seemingly can put it all together at the moment. And
I think this is was the year for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the year.
Stu can be too.
Yeah, this is the year for Bill O'Brien, to that matter, for the simple fact that, look, ever since he's been the coach, like you said, injuries has always taken a play, and it's really unfair to judge his coaching style for the simple fact that he doesn't have his star players. You have J.J. Watt goes down, Jadeveon Clowney goes down. You have so many players that go down that are your huge playmakers. It's really tough and to judge. And then your star quarterback goes down, who, to be honest with you, is the future. He reminds me of a Cam Newton, you know?
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is such like a Cam Newton, and he's a dangerous quarterback. We saw what he did to the Patriots before he was injured last year, and he was a tough guy to stop. You know, he's a playmaker. So if you got to look out for them, the people in the AFC got to really watch and see what the Texans are doing right now. They're on a little roll right now, on a wave, and they can continue to make it going. But let me tell you something. If they get it together, they're going to be a dangerous team. Their defense is going to remind me of that Super Bowl defense of the Denver Broncos when they had DeMarcus Ware, they had Von Miller, Aqib Talib. They had those guys. That's what it reminds me of. So you got to be careful of them if they keep it rolling. And look, the Patriots got to look out. Even the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to watch out. If they keep it rolling.
Yeah, they're a dangerous team, no question. And maybe tonight's performance, what we're thinking here, will help to kind of bring them back into the national spotlight for a team you think, well, coming up here, middle of the season, maybe we need to reassess where the Texans are at and how good this team is potential-wise. Because, like you said, they've always had the roster. It's just a matter of everyone kind of staying healthy overall. Let's talk about Miami for a second. Because the Dolphins, I think it's kind of always the same song and dance every year. They get off to a hot start, whether it be they win the first couple games, they start 3-0, 4-0, whatever it is. And similar to this year, they do that same thing again. And then they lose a couple games, a couple consecutive ones or 3 out of 4. And they just seem like they're lost right now. And I don't think it has anything to do with the starting quarterback. I don't think Brock Osweiler is really a starting quarterback in this league anymore. Mm-hmm. He's a backup probably in my estimations. I don't think Ryan Tannehill is a really great quarterback. And this has kind of been a problem for them down here because the Dolphins have been married to him with the contract they've given him over the past couple of years and going forward while he's under contract. And I don't know if they to me, it's just so hard to assess because I don't think Tannehill is very good. I don't think he's the best quarterback for this team. But all the while, I don't know if they've done a great job with surrounding him with a whole bunch of people. I mean, Kenyon Drake is a good back for them. They still have Frank Gore in the twilight of his career. And, they brought in Danny Amendola to play as well in addition to Devontae Parker. But I don't know if this team is just really kind of like all around really made to play, to really help this team succeed. There's just something missing.
Well,
something missing
look,
with this franchise.
You got your best defensive player, Cameron Wake, comes out and says that he holds the defense accountable for the loss. And that's really where I'd look at it as is like, look, their defense has been struggling. But Miami made the mistake by giving away Jay Ajayi. Let's just call it what it is. That was their best running back. At the time, he was there. I think they made a mistake. They gave him away. He went to Philadelphia, won the Super Bowl. Now, look, yes, he's injured now, but that's not I'm not thinking about that. I'm just saying they were building something there. And this is the problem with Miami. When Miami starts to build a team and they really start to get going, they end up trading pieces away. And I never understood that about them. Like, they'll get some good pieces, good players on their team, and then they'll trade them away to other teams and just wait for draft picks. They don't let anything just kind of set in and mold. None of the players really get a chance to really get to play with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got the gel or anything like that. They kind of they keep them for maybe a couple of months, and then they get rid of them. They don't really – that's the thing about them.
Yeah, it's a fair point. They just can't seem to really put a good foot forward down there, like you said, to take the next step. In the division, obviously, they look up to a giant with the Patriots who've just dominated the AFC East for so long right now. But they should be better than what they've been. They really seriously should have challenged New England for the past couple of years. Yeah, they should have challenged them. And they're just – at the end of the day – they're really not much better than the Bills and Jets in the division, to be honest with you. I've always thought those three have kind of always been the same, around the same for the past couple of years or so. And none of the three can kind of separate themselves from the pack. Although at this point, I think it's clear out of those three who's got the better quarterback situation going forward long term. And I think it's the Jets with Sam Darnold. I think he's better than – we obviously know it's a train wreck in Buffalo at that position. But I think that Sam Darnold is already proving that he shows characteristics that are better than Ryan Tannehill, a guy who's been in the league for a couple of years. So they gave him the keys to the kingdom down there, but it just hasn't really worked out with injuries and such. Another team probably could draft a quarterback in 2019 potentially.
They should.
Real quick, a side note, Brandon Whedon actually had a rushing yard tonight for Houston. Is that accurate? Brandon Whedon had a rushing yard? Unbelievable.
I guess so.
Hey, we're back at it tomorrow night. For Keith, I'm Brad. Keep living the dream.
Behind the Mic, furnished by Dalius Media.
KABC, Los Angeles, Orange County, a Cumulus station.
Investigation widens. Durst to stand trial. I'm Elliot Francis. The mail bomb scare is expanding as law enforcement officials seize 3 more suspicious packages Thursday. Steve Kastenbaum reports.
New York City's police commissioner wouldn't say whether the apparent pipe bombs were actually rigged to explode or if they were just designed to instill fear.
The NYPD and the FBI, we're taking this seriously. We are treating them as live devices.
James O'Neill said he'd characterized them as suspected explosive devices. Multiple reports said that the investigation was focusing in on Florida as a transit point for the packages. This is now considered a domestic terrorism investigation, to which Mayor Bill de Blasio said New Yorkers would not give in to fear.
They're not going to let an act of terror intimidate them.
Steve Kastenbaum, New York.
Officials at Yosemite National Park are investigating the deaths of a man and a woman who fell from a popular overlook. Park spokesperson says a visitor Wednesday reported that 2 people had plunged to their deaths at Taft Point, which has an elevation of about 7,500 feet. Well, New York real estate heir Robert Durst has been ordered to stand trial for the murder in the killing of his close friend 18 years ago. Carrie Schumacher explains.
A Los Angeles Superior Court judge ruled Thursday there's enough evidence to try 75-year-old multimillionaire Robert Durst for the shooting death of Susan Berman at her home 18 years ago. Prosecutors alleged Durst killed Berman to keep her from telling police what she knew about the presumed death of his wife, who vanished in the 1980s. Durst was the subject of HBO's 2015 documentary series called The Jinx. Durst was heard muttering in the documentary he had killed them all. He's pleaded not guilty. I'm Carrie Shoemaker.
Caitlyn Jenner says that she had been wrong to support President Trump. In a Washington Post opinion piece, Jenner said Mr. Trump insulted the transgender community and turned them into political pawns. I'm Elliot Francis.
Geico presents eyewitness interviews with inanimate objects.
This is Belinda Collins, live on the scene of a recent hailstorm. Here to describe the event, a football.
Bro, I was just hanging on the roof when this gnarly storm starts dropping baseball-sized hail. I mean, the shingles got beat up. A few windows looked broken. It was savage.
Did you do anything to help?
Nah, bro. I was in survival mode.
Your football can't help you in a hailstorm, but the Geico Insurance Agency can help you get covered for personal property damage. Call Geico to see how affordable homeowners insurance can be.
No one compliments you when their paycheck is correct, but make one mistake, and you risk alienating your entire workforce. With Kronos, we make sure your payroll is done right the first time, from punch to paycheck.